An ever-present obstacle, worry is analogous to a hefty weight that we choose to carry about with us. It includes a broad variety of things to worry about, such as one's finances, one's work, one's education, one's family, and even recollections of the past or the possibility of an unknown future. These concerns often lead to the sneaky companions of worry and anxiety, which are tough to shrug off once they have taken hold. The Bible, particularly the book of Matthew, has a wealth of information that is relevant to this subject. Jesus, in the course of his teachings, offers advice on how to find one's way through the maze of concern. These teachings highlight that it is not about avoiding our issues or pretending that they do not exist. Rather, it is about facing them with faith and a thorough awareness of what they entail. It's the same as adopting a new viewpoint on our anxieties, shining them in a light that's less ominous and more upbeat about the situation. In point of fact, the Bible exhorts us to carry out our tasks with diligence and to provide potential answers. On the other hand, it is essential to make a distinction between worrying and preparing answers in a strategic manner. The first option maintains a state of restlessness, which in turn generates worry and fear, but does not result in the production of any useful answers. Because of this, one's level of dissatisfaction and hopelessness may increase. Take for instance the story of Daniel and his three friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who, under the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, found themselves in a perilous situation. Consider this story. Daniel approached the king with a request for more time in order to figure out how to get out of the precarious situation they were in. He did not give in to his anxiety. This narrative teaches two very important life lessons. The first is that Daniel had a choice. He could give in to his anxiety, or he could look for a method for them to get out of their current situation. He made the astute decision to go with the latter. Second, it highlights the fact that those who have a true relationship to God are able to keep their calm even when faced with the most dire of situations. On the battlefield, David served as a model for this concept by going up against Goliath while everyone else was frozen with dread. In a similar manner, Daniel and his comrades did not try to hide themselves or devise a strategy for their escape. Rather, they prayed to God for assistance in dealing with the present difficulty they were facing. It's incredible that God responded to their prayer. They were each other's primary sources of motivation and creativity. It is essential to realize that our particular abilities are limited in the face of certain situations. In circumstances like these, it is very necessary to seek help from the one who can. They went ahead and did it, and the result is known as history. As a direct consequence of this, the king's edict did not extend to the other advisors. Did you know that worrying has been responsible for more deaths than the real problems that sparked the anxiety? Worry and fear are often interwoven with one another. Furthermore, God is not the cause of concern. If it does not come from a divine origin, then it must come from the work of evil spirits. It is fundamentally problematic since it does not have its roots in a force that is working for the greater good. This is due to the fact that the Bible makes it very clear that every good and perfect gift comes from a heavenly source. This is where the Bible gets its information. Therefore, if it does not come from the divine, it is devoid of the inherent goodness and perfection that it should have. It has been brought to my attention that you are now coping with a difficulty in your life. As I write this letter, I am also struggling with my own individual set of challenges. However, one strategy that I use, and one that I urgently encourage you to embrace as you take in the information included in this communication, is to openly accept that fretting about the issue at hand does not hold the key to addressing the problem. Instead, it acts as a thief, depriving you of your feeling of purpose, pleasure, and even tranquility in your life. Anxiety may be the first step down the steep slope that leads to alcoholism for a person. It is possible for a mother to develop major health problems, such as high blood pressure, when she is overburdened with anxiety about a kid who is acting erratically. It is unfortunate that by publicly expressing worry about an issue, one mistakenly compounds the weight of the situation, despite the fact that these instances may be excruciatingly painful. As a result, a mother may find herself fighting not just one but two battles at once, namely the one with her wayward kid and the one with her own deteriorating health. Refuse to give the adversary any room in your life by giving in to the sneaky recommendations he makes to stay in a state of worry and anxiety. Maintain your composure, do not allow your emotions to waver. God is concerned about you right now, tomorrow, and much far into the future than we can see. If you put your faith in Him, He will protect you from harm. You may be confident that the fidelity of God extends well beyond the boundaries of the current moment and into the limitless expanse of the tomorrows you have ahead of you. His assurance that He will shepherd and protect you is not restricted in any way by the passage of time. You will be liberated from the chains of concern that are attempting to trap your soul the moment you acknowledge this reality. When you commit your life's events to God's care, you are placing them in the hands of the One who has a profound insight into the complexities of those events and is able to plot the most advantageous path for your life. If you have God as your defense and support, there is no way that concern can take hold and grow in your life. Your soul will find peace as you rest in His arms, and your heart will find the tenacity to endure whatever comes your way. In the book of Matthew, chapters 25 to 34, we find Jesus delivering a lengthy speech on the topic of anxiety. He pleaded with us not to let our minds be preoccupied with worries about our clothes, food, or other necessities of life. He brought to our attention the fact that food is just one aspect of existence, and that clothes is only one aspect of the human body. He turned our attention to the birds of the air, pointing us that while they do not plant or harvest or store their food in barns, our Heavenly Father provides for them. Is it not true that we have more worth than they do? Jesus questioned whether or not worrying could add even a single instant to our lives. He said that it was a waste of time. He drew our attention to the flowers that were growing in the field, which did not need any effort on their part. Even with all of his magnificence, Solomon was not able to compete with their beauty. He warned against being preoccupied with what to eat, drink, or wear, since this is something that the pagan people do, because our Heavenly Father is aware of our requirements. Instead, He exhorted us to make the advancement of the reign and righteousness of God our first priority, with the knowledge that all other requirements would be met in due time. Therefore, you shouldn't worry about tomorrow since each day has its own distinct set of obstacles. To summarize, concern is an inevitable component of everyday existence. It is normal to have periods of disquiet, especially when confronted with challenges of a personal, family, professional, or even social nature, such as those listed in the previous sentence. However, it is essential to keep in mind that worrying does not, in and of itself, give any answers to the problems that are being faced. Instead, it has the potential to steal a person's feeling of calm, pleasure, and purpose in life. The Bible offers sound advice on how to counter anxiety with faith, trust, and a fresh perspective, all of which may be found in its pages. We are able to discover our own inner strength and tranquility when we surrender our destiny to God, because we are confident in knowing that He cares deeply for us. Let go of the helm, and give God the opportunity to steer the ship. Choose to have faith instead of dread, praise instead of terror, and trust instead of